revisit the era of backyard gardening. Let us make use of any available piece of land and cultivate any suitable food crop. This plantain farm is situated just behind the studios of Radio Ghana here in GBC. This parcel of land behind the GBC flats is also being used for the cultivation of food crops. Don't wait. Join us in this crusade. Grow more food to feed Mother Ghana.
Hello and welcome to the interview segment on the Breakfast Show, brought to you by Kanketsi Voltic Mineral Water. And this morning, we want to look at the ecosystem. There was a BBC report recently that said that we risk losing some of our fishes in the ocean by 2050. Due to some human activities that continue to deplete and degrade the environment. Well, thankfully, we have people who are working on the ground to forestall that situation or to forestall that projection. And I have a group that is the Guinea Current Large Marine Ecosystem. It's a project managed by some ministers of state. And what they are doing is to come up with some projects to help save the ecosystem from degradation and other forms of human activities. And with me in the studio are three gentlemen, right? To my right, I have Dr. Stephen Maxwell Donko, Executive Secretary and Coordinator for the Interim Guinea Current Commission, Guinea Current Large Marine Ecosystem, and it's IGCC for short. Welcome to the studio, Doctor. And then next to Doctor is Mr. Carl Fiati, Coordinator, National Action Plan, EPA. And then next to Mr. Fiati, and opposite me is Mr. Olusa, Communications Advisor, IGCC. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Now, like I said, I understand that about 70% of our planet is made up of coastal and marine ecosystems. That is if I'm right.
You're right.
Okay, let's talk about the project and which countries form this project and what you're looking at. And I know you have this here, so if you could use it to explain to us then.
Okay. The project, the Guinea Current Large Marine Ecosystem, comprises all the coastal countries from Guinea-Bissau to Angola.
Okay.
And that includes Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and all the others. And when we talk about a Guinea Current Large Marine Ecosystem, we're talking about the continental shelf, but also part of the land, about 200 kilometers inland.
Okay.
And it includes every living resource, including human beings.
Yeah, Doctor, just show this to the camera if you could pick it.
I don't know whether they can pick it up.
If the camera could pick the diagram we have here, okay. All right, so it's made up of 16
Essentially,
countries.
you see to the north, the white line in the sea. From the left, from Guinea-Bissau, all the way through Nigeria, through the Congos, to the northern part of Angola, the Cabinda.
Okay.
That is the Guinea Current Large Marine Ecosystem area.
Okay, so all these countries are sharing the Guinea Current, is that it?
Actually, the sea is the Guinea Current.
Okay.
The current is the movement of the sea. To the north of the Guinea Current, you have the Canary, which goes all the way to Morocco.
Okay.
And to the south, around South Africa, you have the Benguela Current.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. I understand that this is the second ministerial meeting. The first one was in Abuja, and the second one is in Ghana. Why did you choose Ghana?
Actually, as an intergovernmental organization, countries made offers to host the second meeting. The first time, Nigeria was chosen because they fulfilled the requirements of holding the meeting. It's a meeting of about 100 people, 16 ministers, 16 director generals, and all the partners who are involved in this integrated approach.
And civil society.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Sa, you are the communications advisor. How has it been like, getting people along with issues of integrated ecosystem management, or even the countries?
The target for the media would be to direct greater attention to the problems of the large marine ecosystems, the problems of the coastlines, and the problems of human activity that help degrade this, and the land-based pollution. Now, the media, generally, when they look at environmental issues, tend to look purely on issues that have to do with the land, forests, and stuff like that. But hardly ever, it seems, they focus on the coasts. Now, this is not specific to one country. It's general for the 16 countries and even beyond this. Our job will be to engage them so that they're able to spread their coverage and do in-depth coverage on the coastal communities and the coastal problems and the things that impact these people.
Interesting. EPA, I know when it comes to issues of pollution, issues of degradation, we always run into EPA. How has EPA been working with maybe civil society and NGOs in Ghana, to get the message down to Ghanaians? I know it's an issue of, it's the issue of attitudinal change, but how are you getting along with it?
Yeah, first of all, as part of the GCLME, we have coordinated the preparation of the National Program of Action to address land-based sources of pollution. And that action includes the sensitization and awareness of the populace. We have undertaken some awareness activities. We have a NGO environment network, the network of religious organizations as well, and we use this as the medium for sensitizing. However, we still believe that the sensitization must go deeper, right to the formative stages in the primary schools, for all of us to become aware of the impact of our activities and actions on the environment.
And I think it's also about time that we had some punitive measures, to punish offenders, because if it's just sensitization, I think we've done a lot of sensitization to know that when you use some plastic, don't throw it out on the street, let's dump refuse at this particular point and all that. But we still have the problem with attitudes. Don't you think it's time we got some punitive measures so that people are on guard in some of these things?
Yes, certainly the local government and district assembly bylaws prescribe specific punitive actions.
I see.
And it is expected that the district assemblies and authorities would be able to invoke their bylaws and punish offenders.
Okay. All right, Doctor, let's focus on the meeting. It starts from the 30th of June to July 2. What is this meeting supposed to do?
Actually, the meeting is supposed to do three things. It's supposed to assess progress made the last 5 years since the ministers last met in Abuja. It's also supposed to consider a particular issue of the transition from an interim Guinea Current Commission to a permanent one, which is going to be totally managed as an intergovernmental body between the countries. And finally, it's supposed to provide policy direction in what next steps are going to be taken on the projects which are ongoing in all the countries. And also assess the resources that are needed in countries to implementing some of the national action plans that Mr. Fiati was talking about.
And if I'm right, I understand that during the first meeting, some of the countries started some projects. Are you aware if some of the projects have been carried through and how far they've gone with such projects?
Yes, some of the projects have been carried through. In fact, there are in total about 10 countries which chose their priority projects. About 8 of them have been carried through and are still ongoing. Because they involve things like restoring mangroves which have been destroyed, setting up marine protected areas like in Benin, so that periodically, like keeping the fallow in traditional farming, you keep areas of the sea from fishing so that the stocks are restored. Okay. And in Ghana, we focused on the waste recycling. Waste recycling,
yeah, and how has it been like? Maybe Mr. Fiati could speak to that.
Yeah, the concept is embodied in the waste stock exchange system that is being developed. The private sector actually has already taken the lead. Okay. You find a lot of small and medium arrangements within the private sector that collect some forms of waste, like scrap metals, bottles, and things like that. Send them to assembly points, and then later for sale for recycling and reuse.
Okay, so at least we are on course and we are doing something.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Sa, your final word.
My final word is basically to sensitize the media to all these efforts that global...
I don't know why you are on the media so much this morning.
Well, because the public awareness, as you talked about, is an ongoing process. If in this area we have skipped this particular part of coverage of the environment, we need to raise that, we need to elevate that a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I come back to you for your final word. The conference, after the conference, what next, and what you expect?
I do expect that we're going to have enhanced regional cooperation between the countries. Okay. Managing an organization of 16 countries is not that easy.
Yeah, I imagine.
We have countries who speak 4 languages, Portuguese, French, English, and Spanish. And we hope that from this meeting we would come up with some clear directions on the next steps, particularly leading up to the partnership conference in October, where resources will be mobilized to further implement the programs in the countries.
All right, thank you very much. I have been talking to Dr. Stephen Maxwell Donkor. He is the Executive Secretary and Coordinator for the Interim Guinea Current Commission. And then Mr. Carl Fiati, Coordinator, National Action Plan, Environmental Protection Agency. And then right opposite me, Mr. Olusa, the Communications Advisor to the IGCC. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. The conference comes off from the 30th of June to July 2. So we wish you all the best. And we'll be following you to see the progress made so far. So all the best and thanks for coming. But before we go, I want to acknowledge Dr. Nana Wusu-Frimpong, lecturer in marketing strategy and competitive positioning, and then Professor Stephen O.J. Mensah, lecturer in management information systems, MIS, both lecturers at GIMPA. And this is from some of your students, and they say that you've turned them into computer geniuses within 3 weeks, and then you've also offered extra lectures to enhance their knowledge in the use of the internet, and they are grateful to you. The breakfast show continues, and next we have Irene with the entertainment news. You don't want to see her. She's all dressed in Black Star colors, and she has the vuvuzela. So enjoy. The show continues.
Come on and live your dream too. It's up for grabs right at your doorstep. 75,000 Ghana cedis every week for 10 weeks, and you could be the one to win it in the Zen Live Your Dream 2 promotion. To win, load 2 Ghana cedis or use 50 Ghana pesos talk time per day to get an entry to the weekly draw. Lots of other great prizes also on offer. Come on and live your dream too. Zen, a one.